good. Now, here's a good one. Vitamins make me belch. What can I do about that, or what does it mean? And that can be a problem for people. I know even when I went on the Total Living drink, at first it made me kind of repeat a lot of, and it it wasn't pleasant, but it went away after a while. So why do vitamins have that distinct, distasteful,
Well, first of all, I like that word. I like that word "repeat" for belching. That's
do you like
cool.
that?
Yeah,
like onions. Oh, didn't you
so,
ever? Yeah,
that's so.
It's a good euphemism. It's like I can't eat onions. I repeat them.
Very proper. I'll have to remember that one. You learn something.
It's better than burp.
You learn something. In the case of supplement pills, if you're talking about pills and you're burping them up, or repeating them, and it's anything more than a few days that's happening, your system is not agreeing with them.
Really?
That is not for you.
And they can actually make you nauseous
yeah,
sometimes.
definitely.
I've had vitamins that actually made me nauseous.
I can't take B vitamins on an empty stomach. Now, I take them now, and I have been for the last several years. All my B vitamins I get from the Total Living drink, so there's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
In a food supplement like our Total Living drink, that may very well be because you just dosed your body with such concentrated nutrition. It was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this much nutrition since I was born, and I was breastfeeding. So, in that case, give it some time, and usually
and I did,
you'll
and it did.
Yeah, and it tapered down, and then it stopped. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's usually going to happen with something like that.
And of course, here's one that we've kind of, no, I'm going to skip that. This is the one I was going to read was, what do I do when my doctor says it's worthless? So we've already covered that, but here's the good one before we have to go to break. Is it okay to take all my vitamins at the same time?
Look, at the end of the day, if that is going to increase your compliance, and your longevity on taking the product, then yes. Is there some more specific advanced science to supplementing that says it's better to do that? Yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do to get it done. So
if a person could take certain vitamins at certain times quickly, what would they do?
In a perfect world, I would take water soluble in the morning, and I would take fat soluble in the evening with dinner.
Oh, good. Okay, that's great. Well,
Is that quick enough?
Yeah, that's quick enough. Good job. For more information, check out www.tln.com and then click on shows and go to Balanced Health. Or you can call 888-242-9393 for a copy of today's show at a very, very reasonable price. And coming up in our healthy cooking segment, craving Italian food? Well, look no further than the Balanced Health table. Stay with us.
Mangia, mangia. For today's healthy cooking recipe, I am returning to my Italian roots and sharing my wife's homemade and healthy meatballs, which I'm sure Shirley you're going to love. And before we even get going on that, I want you to know how dedicated my wife and I are to this show, because in the Italian culture, mothers don't even give their meatball recipe to their daughters.
And we're giving it to the general public.
We're giving it to the general public. I mean, there's some things that are sacred. You can even give out your gravy recipe. Italians call red stuff gravy. Everybody else calls it sauce.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's another thing, though, if you're truly Italian, is that you call it gravy instead of sauce.
Thank you, Peggy, for sharing your recipe with us. So what are in these wonderful meatballs?
Well, what we try, again, always in our house to make everything healthy. We have shown it in a recent show. There are 3 different types of meat that are available, and there's more than this, but this is your typical commercially raised beef. You see all the white marbling in it and all the graininess. Isn't that the? Okay, wait a minute. I think that's the. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what did I say?
Bison.
This is the bison. I'm sorry. And you just see how pure that meat looks.
We did a bait and switch.
Yes.
We turned it around.
And I'm looking at this and going, there's a lot of white in this. This is commercially raised beef, and that white stuff is anything from cartilage to fat to whatever.
Right.
This is grass-fed beef. You see how pure it looks, okay?
This is the reddest, the most lean of all, is the grass-fed beef.
Oh, and as we've mentioned before, it actually has less fat and cholesterol than skinless chicken breast.
Unbelievable.
Now, this particular batch we made with bison. It is so tasty and so delicious to make it with bison. People think, and the thing about bison is that the big food giants have not gotten into the game yet.
Right.
So at this point in time, bison are still allowed to roam the range free, and they basically are out there, Shirley, until it's time to come in and die.
And they're big animals. So, nobody has to make them grow fast anyway. They're big animals. So hopefully nobody will spoil that, because I'm telling you, ground buffalo is delicious.
It is delicious. And, going back to the common sense and God's design of it all, by allowing them to roam free on the range, they're moving all day. That's why the meat is so lean. See, in commercially raised beef, where these cows are basically sitting or standing, but not moving in these pens all day, they're out of shape. They're fat.
they're getting
so we're eating fat cows, and that's what we're getting.
Yeah, and they love that because it's, you know.
Now here's what we do. Can I just steal this from you,
sure.
please?
Here you go.
Here's what we do. We take a cup of breadcrumbs. We use a cup of imported Romano. Now, if you want to make real Italian meatballs, you got to put Romano in when you cook them, and you got to add Romano when they're done.
Oh,
yes.
you put cheese in them.
Both times. Oh, absolutely.
That's a secret I didn't know.
That's very much of a secret, and you could actually taste the Romano in it. In fact, my wife's tastes are cute enough where if you try and use Parmesan instead of Romano, you're busted.
Oh, wow.
You are
Okay,
busted.
she's good.
She is good. She put grated Romano or Parmesan to be nice, but she wouldn't use Parmesan if her life depended on it, okay?
That's to throw us off.
That's
see?
to throw us off.
That's to throw us off.
We put 2 tablespoons of organic cream, a third of a cup, and we'll have all this on the site, but a third of a cup of, now how would you pronounce that cheese?
Well, ricotta.
Regatta? Well, yeah, it's closer, but most people say ricotta.
But it's
okay?
regatta.
Well, if
Regatta?
you're really telling you say regat.
Oh, really?
Yes, you leave off that syllable at the end. We're just trying to educate our
regatta cheese, all right.
1 clove of organic garlic through a press, a minced onion, sea salt here instead of the typical table salt, fresh parsley, brown free-range eggs. People, take a good look.
As opposed to the white ones.
We want the brown.
Yeah, they're showing our recipe right now, but anyway.
Okay.
Here we are. There's the difference in the eggs.
Free-range, allowed to roam on the range, healthy chickens, okay? Half-pound round grass-fed or organic beef and a half-pound of ground bison. That's right. I take that back.
Okay.
She made these. This is
half and half.
This is half grass-fed beef, and this is half bison.
Yeah. So does a pound of ground beef? How many does that make? Do you know? Enough to feed your family, or probably not?
No. Are you kidding me?
So you do 3 times the recipe? Okay.
These
But it'd be enough for Jerry and me.
Yes. These are some really. I don't know if the Jerry taste one. I don't know. You might need to.
That's true.
But let's take a taste of these, Shirley.
Okay.
You know, another tip that we want to give people, if they're going to have pasta with their meatballs, is to eat a salad first, then eat a meatball first, then eat the pasta.
Okay.
You'll eat less pasta that way, okay? I don't know if I'm able to just
Guys,
eat
I
one,
have to
but
tell you, these are really, really good. And they're not even.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do?
What? Oh, put some
She's
Romano.
going to get a divorce now. Oh.
You
Heck,
ruined them. You ruined them.
Don't watch the show.
Put some on that bite. Put some on my bite. Thank you.
That's how they should look. She told me before I came on the show, don't put the cheese on too early because it'll just melt into the meatball. People won't see the cheese. So.
Oh, okay, we got to go. But that is delicious, wonderful. And you can get the cooking directions for these, for Peg's homemade healthy meatballs, by going to our website, www.tln.com. And you can click on shows and then balanced health, or you can call 888-242-9393 to get a copy of this entire show. And coming up next, all supplements are not created equal. Find out which ones you should buy and which ones you should skip. So don't go away.
Be back after this meatball.
Can I have another bite?